Maseches Bava Kama Daf Tzadi Zayin Amud Aleph in the very, very, very bottom of the page. Bava Kama Tzadi Zayin Amud Aleph. Shiur is Leilu Nishmas of Imoyri Menachem Ben Akiva Leilu Nishmas of Bas Sholem Leilu Nishmas of Bas Moishe Lerefuas Yosef Israel Ben Chaim Michal B'Serech Shachol Yisrael. Itmar. Amalve es Chaveroi. Yeah. Amalve es Chaveroi al hamatbea. A person lent his friend money al hamatbea, demanding that when the time comes, he has to pay him back 100 lirot. I don't know how well you know Israeli history, but yeah, the year is 1970, and he owes him 1,000 lirot. Okay, you know about lirot? You know, yeah, wow. Yeah, that was the old Israeli currency. I used to pay the bus driver with lirot when I was in elementary school. And then, all of a sudden, the government changed the rules, and lirot are out of circulation, and you have shekels. And then there was another change, new shekels. Yeah, I lived through three currencies. Yeah. So the question is, now the lirot are out of circulation. And I want to tell you something. Nifsala hamatbea, literally, what does it mean, nifsala? Disqualified. In some countries, the old currency is illegal to keep. Yeah, back to my childhood, where before the 80s, before the Likud, I don't know, it was illegal to keep dollars in your house. I remember it very, very clearly. Remember? It was illegal to change to dollars only a certain amount. Oh, for sure. Yeah, my uncle, one of my uncles had dollars in his house, and it was like a big secret, a dark secret that he has dollars. It was everyone used to laugh under the floor, under the tiles. Bekitzer, so let's say that the matbea is nifsalo hamatbea. The matbea is now completely disqualified. Either it's out of circulation, or the same currency that you borrowed is really illegal to keep. So what shall you do now? Can you give him back the lirot, the old coins, or do you have to give him shekels worth of lirot? You have to give him the new one. Machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Rav says, Noisen lamatbea yoytze boisu sho. Rashi says, Bishas piroin, which means, according to Rav, you have to give him the new coin. Yeah, if you borrowed 1,000 lirot in, 1970, and now you want to give it back, you have to give, maybe 1 shekel. You have to give him back, the same amount, but with the new currency, because the old currency, the old coin is like garbage, it's like nothing. You can't give it back. Although, it's not so simple. Shmuel says, no. He can tell, the borrower can tell the lender, Lech, go. Go use it in Meishan. Meishan is a country, the end of the world. Meishan is a place where they can still use lirot. Imagine yourself, there's some kind of village somewhere, Meishan, a different country where they can still use those old coins. Yeah, I don't care where Meishan is located, by the way, if that's what interests you. Maybe it's between Laos and Thailand. I don't know. No, sorry, excuse me.
I think you jumped just outside part of yesterday. That might be saying so. You started Itmar and you missed out a whole lot from when the coin is cracked.
You are right.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Mid broadcasting, I'm caught red-handed. Oh, you are right. You're right. Ooh. Let's restart the Shiur.
Sorry.
We're restarting, but not restarting to record. Okay, wow. Thank you very much. Gozel matbea v'nistak. Wow, you are right. We have to go back to the beginning of the second Wadlan. Thank you very much, Ellen, for being so in touch and so aware. Gozel matbea v'nistak. Thank you very much. I'll make a bracha. Maybe if I drink the tea, that will make my mind clearer. What did we say in the Mishnah? Gozel matbea v'nasdak. Gozel matbea v'nisdak. We said in the Mishnah that if a person stole a matbea, a coin, and the coin was physically, visibly cracked or ever damaged, then he cannot give it back. What do you say? That's like wear and tear and shinui. The Ganav keeps that, excuse my language, matbea, and he has to give the nigzal, the victim, he has to give him a good matbaya. He has to give him a good coin. Okay? And what did we say about matbea nifsal? A matbea that was disqualified by the memshala. What about that? Yeah, if the matbea is out of circulation, we said in the Mishnah, then you can give him back the original matbea and say, it's not my fault that now the government changed its rules. I wasn't going to be shinu because it's not a shinu that's visible. It's shinu she'enu nikar. It's not visible, it's not noticeable, and therefore I'll give you back the original coin and go home. That's what the Mishnah said. And now we're going to see a machlokas regarding that. Machlokas amoyroim, how to explain the Mishnah. Omar Avune, nisdak mamish. Avune explains exactly as I told you. Nisdak, physical change means physical change. That it was actually nisdak, it was cracked, as it is. Nifsal, psalter malchus. Nifsal means that it was completely disqualified. The king does not allow to use it anymore. Yeah, Bava Kama, it's a design Amud Aleph. We're actually starting this year now. We're in the third wide line of design Amud Aleph, the bottom of the page. Rav Yehuda has a whole different explanation. Psaltoi malchus nami hainu nisdak. Wow, says Rav Yehuda. If the malchus disqualified it, it's illegal term, illegal coin, and nobody uses it anymore, it's completely out of circulation. Nowhere in the world would they accept a Greek drachma now, maybe in the antique museum. That's called a physical damage. It's as if it's physical. It's so out of touch with reality, so to speak, that you cannot give it back to the original victim, and you have to keep it and give him good money of today. Frag the Gemara, nifsal. So what's nifsal? The Mishnah did talk about a matbea that was disqualified. Which one is that, according to you? There is a matbea that was disqualified, and you may give it back to the victim. Who is it? What kind of matbea is that? Answers the Gemara, shepsoltoi medina zu, the yoytze b'medina acheres. That's a coin that was disqualified in one area, in one region, and is still good. It's still good term, still good currency in a different area. By the way, Medina is not a state. I know Yom Ha'atzmaut is next week, but Medina, also in the Megillah Esther, and here, doesn't necessarily mean an entire country, it means like a region, like an area, okay? A county, maybe in America, it's called. Province, very good, very nice, nice words, province. In any event, says Rav Yehuda like this: if the matbea, the coin, cannot be used in a Gush Dan, but can be used in a Galil, let's say, then we say, listen, then Nezek is not as bad. You can go to the Galil and use it over there, and therefore I'll give you back the coin, which is more or less out of circulation, because in some places it's still accepted. That is not so bad. The shinu is not so significant, and therefore you should be able to accept it back from me, and I don't have to give you to compensate you for the old money that you lost. Just take what I'm giving you. So now, Rav Huna, I'm reminding you, is the mainstream explanation. What does Rav Huna say? Very simple. Disqualified by the government, even if it's very disqualified, you can still give it back. It's not physical. Only with this physical change, a crack, or it's rusty, or something like that, then we say you can't give it back anymore. You have to give a new thing. Rav Chizda is now asking on Rav Huna, is questioning Rav Huna. According to you, that you say that if the malchus, the government, completely took it out of circulation, disqualified it, and that's called nifsal, that you can give it back. You're allowed to give it back because it's not physical. It's not visible. Excuse me. And that makes a difference. The change is not visible. I'll show you another case in the Mishnah. Fruit could be wheat or other fruit that now putrefied. They are now rotten. Yain vehichmitz, or wine that got soured. The chipsol malchus dami. To me, that's similar to a psul of the malchus, or being disqualified by the malchus, by the government. You know why? Because sometimes the rotten fruit on the outside, they look very nice. I had a case once, my father-in-law, Olav Shalom, and I, and my wife and my mother-in-law, we went up north and we went near a Druze place of the Druze. You know what the Druze are? Yeah, and a lady sold us a very, very, very good looking cherries. They look like from a Disney movie of, I don't know, like, whoa, amazingly beautiful on the outside. We just started opening it. It was swarming with worms all over. Even before the Easter Torah, it was disgusting. It was so beautiful on the outside, like, I don't know, like Snow White kind of thing, and inside was completely full of worms. So Mimela, now the question is, you're telling me that what meets the eye is what makes the difference? If so, well, I question you completely, because I would say that if you have fruit or wine that got sour, doesn't necessarily mean that it looks bad. Could be looks very nice, on the bottle. Only when you taste it, you smell it, it's fich. But lamaisa, it's not really visible. So maybe here too, I can say, I'll just give it back to you the same way it is. Biktani, the problem is, we don't say that. The Mishnah says, Mishalim kishas gzela. It says about the rotten fruit, which could be outwardly nice, or the wine that looks nice but is disgusting. You cannot just give it back as it is, even though the nezek is not visible. The nigzal, the victim, would say, Pich! You keep that disgusting thing and give me the money for the original thing you stole, the good one. So it doesn't make sense according to you, because you go by what meets the eye. Omar no answers Rav Huna. Awesome, over there, nishtana taimoi v'reichoi. Ocho lo nishtano. Over there, it's true that it can look nice because looks can deceive, but lemaisa, the taste and the smell are different. Here, nothing changed, which means I didn't say visible, I said physical, which means the change in taste or in smell, those fruits, they don't smell nice, they look nice. They don't smell or they don't taste nice. That is a difference, a physical difference. The coins, they look amazing. I didn't. A kid, may have kept his lirot from 1970, shiny and new. He shines them every day, so they can look very nice and amazing. It's only because the government decided lirot are not used anymore. There's zero physical difference. When there's no physical difference, then the Ganav can tell the guy, take the lirot and go jump in a lake. Sorry. Because it's a shinoi, hezek shenonika, it's not visible and not physical. Absolutely. Only when it was cracked, then we say that you cannot give it back. Very good. Now we're attacking the other opponent, Rav Yehuda. Ledidach de Omar psalto malchus nami hainu nisdak. You said that if the government completely disqualified it and nobody can use it, lirot, right? Nobody can use the lirot today. I don't think, obviously, it's not even a question. It's a ridiculous point yet. Nobody would use lirot. Nobody even knows who they are. I don't think my children know about it. So if it's so bad, financially speaking, it's as if it's cracked, according to Rav Yehuda, and he cannot give it back. It's so bad, it's like physical. The problem is, hooray, there's a big problem with that, and that's a huge problem. Truma v'nitmes. You remember the case of the Mishnah? There was truma. That truma, the fruit of truma, were nitma. What does it mean, nitma? Very good. Became tama. A rodent, a dead lizard touched it, but it looks very nice. You cannot tell the difference between tama and tor, unless maybe Avraham Kanevsky. We cannot tell the difference between tama and tor. It looks exactly the same. The chipsal to malchus dami. That's exactly, says the Gemara, like disqualified by the king. Why? Because both the lira, which looks nice and new, but is out of circulation, and the truma, before and after the tum'ah, before and after it got defiled, then it's exactly the same. And yet, v'ktani, the Mishnah says not like you Rav Yehuda. The Mishnah says regarding the fruit that became tomeh, because it's an invisible and not a physical change at all, it's a spiritual change, invisible change. We say take the truma as it was. I'm sorry, Mr. Cohen, that I stole your truma, but now take back your truma. You can't do anything with it. I'm sorry, it's not my fault. It's nezek shenonikal. Well, that's exactly like the lira or the peseta that was changed into euro. What's the difference, right? There's no physical difference, and yet you care, and the Mishnah doesn't care. What's going on? Omar Lei says, no, it's not the same. Rav Yehuda says something very shticky over here. A big difference between the fruit that became tomeh and the coin that became disqualified. Hasam, over there, by the Tuuma, lo min kal hizeka. Very cool. You cannot tell the nezek at all. Let me give you the hint over here. When you have a bushel of apples that are tome and another bushel of apples that are tor, can you see the difference? You have 10. Yeah, let's make the test. Show. Yeah, can you tell which one is tome? You can maybe guess. But if you compare the tuma batch to the non-tuma ones, there's no way you can compare them. However, I'm continuing. Here, when you talk about the coin, the currency, min kal hezeka, the nezek is visible. Oh, what do you mean it's visible? It's true that the peseta before year 2000, peseta used to be the money of Spain, and after the year 2000, when the euro was introduced, looks exactly the same. But if you go to a shop in Spain in the year 1999, everybody has pesetas, right? If you go, that's what everybody else pays with, unless they have credit cards, or a bit. Yeah, but if you now go to a shop in Spain and everybody pays with euro, and the only guy that pays with peseta is the odd one out, even a 3 years old can tell the difference. So that's called hezek nikal. Because comparing to the other coins in the circulation, that coin is different now. When you compare it to everything else that's in the business world, Mimela, that's called hezek nikal, according to Rav Yehuda. You can argue on that, and that's probably what Rav Huna thinks. Rav Yehuda sees that as visible. Yeah, the difference between the coin and the other current currencies. Mimela says Rav Yehuda, if it's disqualified, you cannot give it back. If you're a Ganev and you stole an old coin, which is completely out of circulation, nobody would accept today the Austrian shilling. Nobody has it anymore. Mimela, you have to give him a new coin. As far as I know, that's the halacha from the little bit that I saw. Now we're starting where we were holding before, and I'm very, very grateful to Alan for correcting the mistake. Now we're starting what we said before, restarting the other sugya. Itma, you came just in time for the new sugya. Itma, they learned in the Besmedrash. Let me use the break to just connect my computer. I'm sorry. A person lent money to his friend, and then the coin that he owes him, the currency that he owes him, there's a shtar. It says in the shtar, Mister, you have to give me back 10,000 lirot. You know about lirot, Jeff? There was once a currency called lirot in Israel. Everybody knows it. I'm impressed. Those, yeah.
Scallop. Round circles.
I think you remember better than me. Very good. Now, as far as I know, people cannot accept 10,000 lirot anymore. So can you give me back the lirot? Yes or no? Can you give me back the old currency? Or would you tell me, or would I tell him if I lent the money? No, I want legal currency. Rav Omar, Rav and Shmuel, Rav Omar, Rav says, no, you have to give him the matbea, the currency that is in circulation at that time, the time of the return of the loan. Give me real money. Don't give me lirot. Nobody accepts lirot anymore, so don't make fun of me and give me what is now in the market. That's how very simple. It's not money. However, it's not so simple. Shmuel says, Shmuel says the lender can tell the borrower can tell the lender, I'll give you lirot because there's a country called Meishan. Meishan is a Sheineplatz. Meishan is a place where they still accept lirot. It's not a good example, by the way, my example, because nobody accepts lirot anymore. But let's say there was a country somewhere, or a region, or somewhere, some kind of, or maybe some banks. I know the euro, I don't know if you remember. So there was a time when you couldn't give euro to the shop, you could give it to the bank. There was such a time. In England, they changed money? No, yeah, they did. They changed. Yeah, they're very. Also in Israel, yeah, you can give them to the bank. They won't give you a. Let's continue. He can tell him, go and take it out in Meishan. Go use it in Meishan, because this currency is not completely out of circulation. It's still accepted in Meishan. Let's say some faraway village, some faraway region. Go use it there, and I'll give you back what I borrowed. I originally borrowed the old coins. So those old coins, the lirot, they can be still used in Mesha, the Hotzenplatz near Naharia. Go there and use it. Omar Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman is going to be the star of the show today. By the way, who's halacha like? Rav or Shmuel? Easy. Who? Shmuel, how do you know? Shmuel is always followed by money. When in money matters, didn't matter Shmuel, and also we see a little aleph. The little aleph on the top of the word yochol means that's the halacha. Amar Rav Nachman. Mistaber Mir said Shmuel. Rav Nachman comes to disqualify the words of his good friend Shmuel. Mistaber Mir said Shmuel. Shmuel's statement makes sense. The isle urcha lemeza lemeshan. Only if he has a way to go to Meshan, making literal translation. If he has no way to go there, then no. According to Rashi, and I'm ignoring other Rishonim now for the sake of ease, says Rashi later on, if I have a reason to go to Meshan, then let's say I'm a businessman and I go every once in a while to Meshan, yeah, and you give me Meshan money, although right now we're in Tel Aviv, that makes sense, because then he can tell me, go use it in Meshan, where you sometimes go, you go every half year to Meshan, once for business, once for pleasure, once for your mother-in-law, big pleasure, or whatever. And what? And in Hela, and Chinami, you can use it there. But if I have nothing to do with Meshan, I've never been in our life, I didn't lose anything in Meshan, then no. Then he cannot give him those coins that are only used in Meshan, because it's not a practical return of the debt. So says Rav Nachman, meaning a return of a loan has to be with term, with monetary term, with money, with currency that can actually be used, even though it cannot be used here and now, it can be potentially used in Meshan. And you are a kind of guy who you do go to Meshan if every now and then it works. That's Rav Nachman's statement. Oh, very nice. Now Rav comes to question Rav Nachman from a brisa, from a Tosefta. A very small introduction, even though I know you know every word I'm going to say now, we're just revising something we all know. Meiser Sheni. That's today, even you have an orchard. Forget about Shemitah, okay? Next year is the year of Meiser Sheni. It is Meiser Sheni, the first year of the cycle, and you have a beautiful lemon tree in your backyard, like a lot of people in Ramad B'Shemesh. And now you have to take Meiser Sheni. You took Meiser Sheni. What do you do with the Meiser Sheni? You don't have to schlep, I don't know, a whole kilo of lemons to Yerushalayim and eat it over there. What do? You are poide mechalel. You basically move the kedusha. You remove the kedusha of the lemons onto coins. What do you do with those coins? You take the coins. You take them to the holy city of Jerusalem, which is the capital of the Jewish people, and you eat it there inside the walls of Yerushalayim. That money, though, what did you do exactly? You took the kedusha, so to speak, of the lemons, and you transferred it onto coins. Those coins cannot just be any coins. Those coins have certain standards which we have to follow. That is now the question. And where are you going to use these coins? In Yerushalayim. You can only eat it in Yerushalayim, not in Gibraltar. Yeah, you have to eat them in Yerushalayim. By what? Using the coins and buying food stuff in Yerushalayim with those coins that in Ramad B'Shemesh, you transfer the kedusha of the lemons onto them. So far, so good. Now comes the question against Rav Nachman, attacking Rav Nachman. Ein mechalil alamois she'einam yoitzois. You cannot be mechalil. You cannot transfer the kedusha of the fruit of Meiser Sheni on mois, on money, on coins that are not yoitzois, that are what you guys call not in circulation, not because out of circulation. Yeah, actually no. Yeah. It's actually yes, out of circulation, which means it says in the Torah, the tzarta hakesef beyodecha. Tzarta, says the Gemara in many places, kesef sheyesh lo tzua. Let's say I want to take those fruit, those lemons, and transfer the kedusha to a gold bar, or to a nugget of gold, or a nugget of silver, or however it's called, raw, not a coin, and then I'll sell it in Yerushalayim and buy food. Can I do that? No. I have to use kesef sheyesh lo tzura, a shape, a coin that looks like a coin and feels like a coin. Okay? Money that I cannot actually use as money, as currency, even though it may be nice and golden, but it's not a legal tender currency. I cannot do chilul meiser sheni with that. Ketzad, how is that? For example, Kuzbiyos is the money of Bar Kuzba, Bar Kochba. Bar Kochba is also called Bar Kuziva. What's Kuzba? A lie. Yeah? Kazav is a lie. He was a liar. Some people said that they were very disappointed with him. So let's say you have money that was used back then by Bar Kochba, but is not used anymore. Or Yerushalmiot, which means the old Yerushalmiot, or Shel Melochim Arishonim, or an old coin of the previous king. You have a coin with a picture of Queen Victoria. Works? I don't think you can. Yes? Queen Victoria? I don't think. That's it. I can't use Queen Victoria anymore. So if you have old currency that's out of circulation, ain't mechalelin. You cannot take your Meiser Sheni and use the old coins that nobody uses ever in the world. I'm stressing. Out of circulation, out of halacha of Chilul Meiser Sheni. Says the Gemara, Medaya Krova, against Rav Nachman, Shel Achroinim Dum Yadu Shoinim, Mechalelin. Let's say you have a new coin that is similar to a coin that's out of circulation. How could that be? Our coin. What's the coin we're talking about? It's not accepted in Ramat Beit Shemesh and Tel Aviv, but it's accepted in Meishan. It sounds like that if I have a coin that is not accepted here and not accepted in Yerushalayim, but is accepted in Meishan, I may, yes, use it for Meiser Sheni. Why is that against Rav Nachman? What did Rav Nachman say? Rav Nachman said, I can only give you I owe you money. Okay, let's say I owe money to Peretz, my good neighbor, next building. I borrowed 100 shekels, and I tell you, I'm giving you back money of Gibraltar. Gibraltar has its money. Can I give it to you? You say, no, you don't go to Gibraltar. Have you ever been there? Maybe once. No? Oh, really? Okay. British. So then, what did Rav Nachman say? Only if you go to Gibraltar every once in a while, or to Meishan, then it can give you Gibraltar money or Meishan money. Here, that's not the case, because where is he going to use the money of Meiser Sheni? Only one city in the world called Yerushalayim. That's it. So that seems to be against Rav Nachman. Here, Rav Nachman say I can only pay what? I can pay something that with a coin that still exists in a place where the person practically goes to. Here, it's not true. Here, it sounds like that money that's only used in Meishan, I can do Chilul Meiser with it, even though I'm not going to Meishan, because I'm going to Yerushalayim. There are three places in the story. Beit Shemesh, where I live and where I do the Chilul of the lemons, and I go to Yerushalayim, and I want to use money that's only used in Meishan. It's an old money that only those retarded places, Meishan, they accept. And I can't do it. I am allowed to do it. Even though I'm not going to Meishan, I'm going to Yerushalayim. So that seems to be against Rav Nachman. You see that even if I'm not practically going to use the money in Meishan land, in old money land, it's still good legal tender. That seems to be against Rav Nachman. Omerlei, answers Rav Nachman, easy. See? You know what we're talking about over here in the Bryce of the Meiser Sheni? When the different countries are not makpid on each other. Sometimes, and this is again from my own personal life, I can tell you, sometimes you can give the wrong coin in the wrong place and they still accept it. In this case, we're talking about the Yerushalayim. Although Yerushalayim is not Meishan, they're not makpid. This money of Meishan, if I give it to Yerushalayim, the guy will make a face and say, okay, I'll accept it. In Mela, that's legal tender. But enochinami, if the money is accepted only in Meishan, only in Meishan, and nowhere else, and the guy in Yerushalayim goes, no way, get out of my store, then I cannot do the chilul on that. Enochinami, Rav Nachman sticks to his guns. I was once in Switzerland and I was told you can't use euro because Switzerland is not Euroland, and only franc because they stayed with the franc. And I gave euro in the train to the guy, and he accepted it. I said, "You accept euro?" I said, "Yes." If you have no francs, we'll accept euro. Okay. So that's the story over here too. I prefer if you can hold back for a minute. Ella. So now we have to build up the whole picture here. Frank the Gemara, wait a second. Ella, according to what you're saying now, let's try and calculate what we just said before. Ki Omer Shmuel, when Shmuel said Shemalchios Makpidos Zu al Zu, according to you, what are you telling me? This story of the Meiser Sheni is when the Malchuyos are easy, and you can give a pound here, and you can give a Meishan in Yerushalayim, and you can give a franc in Sinner, that's fine. Then it's accepted. Mashma, the case of Shmuel, when I give the guy money of Meishan, then, and what did Rav Nachman say? I can only give you Meishan money if he actually really practically goes to Meishan, every few months, right? Or so, yeah? Bashma, he spoke about a case where the Malchus is makpid, meaning that in Tel Aviv or Bet Shemesh, they do not accept it b'chlal. They don't accept the Meishan money, right? That must be. Therefore, you have to be practically a Meishan traveler. Meishan is on your jet set, on your, no, how do you call it? On your itinerary. Thank you. Now you have to know something which I told you before. And that takes us to Israel in the 70s with the dollars. In some countries, and back then, when the money was out of circulation, many times it was illegal to keep it. It was illegal to keep the money. And if the government catches you with dollars, the government catches you with Meishan money, you may end up in jail, or they can, I don't know, lash you, confiscate, or even worse. Frag the Gemara, if so, how can you give him the Meishan money if the guy, the lender who lent him money, and now the borrower wants to give back Meishan money? Meishan money? It's only accepted in Meishan. And here in Tel Aviv and Bet Shemesh, if the police catches you with Meishan money, it's as if they caught you with marijuana, with LSD. It's illegal. So if so, how can you give it back to him? It's not called a return. You can't tell him because it's going to be caught with that. That's not called a return. You can't say when you go to Meishan. How can Bechlal live with it here in Bet Shemesh? The police, they raid the houses. They search from house to house and look for Meishan money. And that's not called returning the money. Here it's called sakana, to be with even under my bed. Answers the Gemara, the mamtil alidei adchak, which means, those words, by the way, some people erased it. Deloi bachshi, the police here don't look for it. It's illegal to the level the police does not look for Meishan money. They're not paranoid about it. It's not communist Russia. Mashkichi kapdi. But if they do find it, then they're being very particular. They can put you in jail if they happen to find it. Now everything will fit in beautifully. Explains Rashi. If the case of Shmuel and Rav at the beginning with Rav Nachman is as follows. I borrowed money from someone. I want to give him back what? Meishan money. If the Meishan money is super illegal and there are notices in the streets everywhere, do you have Meishan money? We know about your Meishan money, CCTV everywhere. Meishan money is like, I don't know, like keeping a Sefer Torah in communist Russia. Then, no, you cannot give it back. And you can't tell the guy, keep it very, very much in secret under your carpet. And when you go to Meishan, it was legal to go to Meishan, then you can use it. That's not called returning. Because here it's worth zero and I'm living in Pachad, that's not called a return. That's for sure. The other extreme, if the money is Malchus and Makpidas Zuozu, you can take out the Meishan money in the Makolet, the guy will make a face, but he'll accept it. He'll accept the Meishan money, then Enochinami. Then says Rav Nachman, you don't have to say my statement. Even if the guy doesn't practically go to Meishan, you can give him Meishan money like dollars in Israel. I don't know, even American dollar, which is very, very accepted. I don't know if you go here to some of the simpler supermarkets. I don't know. You go to Yesh, you give her $50. I don't know if they'll accept it right away. They won't. But you can check. They won't. No. Okay. So by en makpidos, so you can go to the money changer and then in other words, it's usable echshu somehow, like the euro in Switzerland. Then even if the guy doesn't go to Meishan, it's still called a golden return. When did Rav Nachman speak about a very particular case? If the police doesn't look for the money, it's illegal, but not very illegal. The police is not they're not raiding the houses, they're not on the look for that. In Mela, you can keep the money of Meishan over here. But, says Rashi, a very sticky thing, you cannot do business with Meishan money here. Let's say people from Meishan come here. There's a courtesy that can happen. Yeah? Then I cannot do business openly with Meishan people, Meishan money. Because if it's in the open, then the police would catch me and would Khalila put me in jail. Yeah. Mela says Rav Nachman in that situation of being semi-illegal, illegal but not makpid, then I can keep it in my house under my pillow and nobody would say anything, nobody would notice. And since I practically go to Meishan every once in a while, I will be able to take it in a black envelope under my, whatever, what is belt, under the thing. Under the shirt, and go to Meishan and use it there happily. Only if I go to Meishan, that's called a return. That's the summary of the entire story. These are the three levels. Ellen, I want to hear your wonderful words. Yeah. Toshma, more on the money of the Meister Sheni. Let's imagine the following case. The guy, the person, before we continue to the next Toshma, by the way, we are in the line starts with the word kapdi and then tashma. Come in here. So let's say you have fruit, your lemon tree, your whole bunch, the pile of lemons are in your backyard in Ramat Beit Shemesh, and you are now in the holy city of Lakewood, very heilig, and you say, Oy vavoy, we forgot to do Chilul Meister, we didn't do the Chilul of the Meister, and my family may be Nichshal. So the Rishonim explain. The Rishonim don't say Lakewood, they say Bavel. Yeah, you're in Bavel, or you are in the tri-state, wherever holy places, but outside Israel. And now you want to be Mechalel, the Meister Sheni, while you are actually in Chutz La'aretz, okay? And that can work for the lemons or the grapes or the olives in Eretz Yisrael. That works, yeah, even with no Wi-Fi. You stand there by the table, the kitchen table in Lakewood, by your son, and what? You say, this money of this pruta, I want to use this money to be mechalel in all the kedusha of the lemons. Transatlantic kedusha flies over to the money in Lakewood, and now the lemon are kedusha free, and your family eats the lemons. They're absolutely fine. Make a lemonade, and it's all very nice. What? And the coins you should take to Jerusalem in your next trip. Your next trip to Eretz Yisrael, you take the money, the coins to Yerushalayim, and there you buy food, and that's about it, and it's all very nice. The question is, are those coins cents, dimes, dollars, or shekels? That's the question. Toshma, we have three cases over here. Case number one, Ein mechalel in almos shel kan vehen beBavel. You cannot be mechalel moist of Eretz Yisrael while you're in Bavel. When you're in Bavel, when you're in Lakewood, if you give shekels, would they accept it? I doubt it. Yeah. So because in Bavel, if you're geographically inside Bavel, to use the Israeli money of Kan, of here, is not usable. Again, it's not called Betzata Kesef Beyodecha. It's not usable money. Why? Because in Bavel, in Chutz La'aretz, they don't accept the Israeli money. The Shel Bavel vehen Kan, yeah, and also Shel Bavel vehen Kan. Money of Bavel, the money of Iraq, let's say, yeah, you can't use it in Israel. So if you mechalel it in Ramat Beit Shemesh and you use Chutz La'aretz money, you use dollars, you say dollars cannot be accepted in Makolet, whatever. You use some kind of money that's not accepted in Israel. You can't do the Meister Sheni Chilul. It's not accepted in the land where you are actually right now. Yeah, you cannot be mechalel with that kind of money. Third case, Shel Bavel v'en beBavel mechalelin. If you use American money while in America, or French money while in France, that is okay. You can do the chilul. That's the third case. If you have questions, that's very nice because the Gemara will explain everything. Tani Miyas, out of all these three cases, the Begadol, we see very clearly. To use the wrong currency in the wrong country, no. But to use foreign currency in foreign country, yeah, that is okay. Even though eventually you have to go to Yerushalayim, we'll ignore that for now. Tani Mihas, one thing out of the whole story, we're siphoning out one detail here, and we're again attacking Rav Nachman. Ein mechalelin almos shel kan vehen beBavel. You're not allowed to take Israeli money, Israeli shekels, while you're in Bavel or in London or in Lakewood. You cannot use them for the chilul. Why? Afal gav, even though the sofa lemesek lahosam. Where exactly are you going to take this coin, my friend? That coin which you're using to be mechalel the lemons in Ramat Beit Shemesh, and right now you are in Chicago, we're going to use those shekels in Yerushalayim, of course. The only place to use the coins, the one and only city of the entire world, is Yerushalayim. Hey, wait a second, that's Meishan. According to you, Rav Nachman, you say that to return money in Beit Shemesh, Meishan, is okay if I know I will go to Meishan, same thing over here. Why is it called money that's not usable? Why? It is usable in Yerushalayim, and I will jolly well go to Yerushalayim because that's the only place I'm going to go with this money. So by your logic, Rav Nachman, Israeli money, Yerushalayim money, should be able to be used for Chilul in Lakewood because I will go to Yerushalayim. Nowhere else I can use the money. Answers the Gemara. We are talking here that the Malchios are very makpid on each other, which means because it's completely illegal, imagine yourself that in America, Israeli money becomes not just not legal tender out of circulation, it's never been in circulation. Imagine yourself, it's usher to keep it. Somebody keeps Israeli money, lets us a very left pro-Palestinian president comes, science fiction will never happen. Yeah. And what? And he says Israeli money is forbidden to keep. So then that everyone agrees you can't, that, remember, that was in the three levels, the three echelons we had, that's the lowest one. Money that is a sakana to keep, that's dangerous to keep against the law, that is never called good money. And you can't say, now I'm going to shake in my pants and use it, making sure nobody sees the Israeli money, like under communist regime, and it's okay because it will go to Meshan or go to Yerushalayim. That doesn't work. Only when it's so legal, then you say, I'll eventually go to Yerushalayim or to Meshan, that will be okay. But if it's completely illegal, that's not called halachically legal tender, not for returning, not for mice, and not for anything, because it's not just not money, it's dangerous to keep. So bad, that's not called money in this. Ihachi, frag the Gemara, wait a second, if so, shel bovel, vehen bebovel, lemay chozu, wait a second. If so, if I have American money in America, we said that's okay. Lemay chozu, how will I use it in Yerushalayim, right? Because you said what? If the Malchios are makpid, we assume that pod is mutual, right? You can't take a plane today from Tel Aviv to Tehran directly. I don't think so. No, the other one here, they can't take a plane from Tehran to Tel Aviv, yeah? Usually the relationship is mutual. So if the relationship between America and Israel is so bad that it's a sakana to keep Israeli money over there, it's probably a sakana to show American dollar in Yerushalayim when I go there to buy my stuff in Yerushalayim. Yeah? I'm not saying today's reality. Iraq, Bavel. You can't show Iraqi money in Yerushalayim. They'll arrest you. They'll think you're a terrorist, let's say. Answers the Gemara. Chazu dezabin bu behema umasikli Yerushalayim. Yes, it is usable. You know how? You can actually take a behema. You can buy with the money in Bavel. You can buy a behema in Bavel. Buy a kosher animal in Bavel. Take the kosher animal to Yerushalayim, and there you can use it to eat the animal in Yerushalayim. It's a big chiddush. Masik means it takes it up to Yerushalayim, which means the question is, Tosfos says, you're making a face and I like it, 1 second. It's not so simple you can buy an animal with the money of the Meiser Sheni and bring it to Yerushalayim. It's Exer de Rabbanon, says Tosfos, and Tosfos read, if you're Shonim, the reason why you cannot do it is because maybe the animal is going to die on the way. But Me'ikr din, it's fine. What? No, it's not a korban. It doesn't become. Mm-hmm. So you have to eat it in Yerushalayim. And a chinami, right? But if I have no choice, because Yerushalayim will not accept my Iraqi money, although it's a b'diavad if he has no other choice. Because the Rabbanan said, if no choice, you can use the animal. The animal may die. Let's hope for the best. I want to answer a question, Baruch, in literally, I promise you, 3 lines, and I'll hear you. Frag the Gemara, and that's sort of the end of this story. Frag the Gemara, Vatanya, we have a brisa that's against everything we said. It says in the brisa, it kinu sheyu, and we have to add the word kol. They made a takana, a beautiful takana, because people from all over the world come to Yerushalayim with the coins of the Meiser Sheni. And there are many different coins all over the world, right? All the way from one side of the world to the other. They made a takana that all types of currency should be accepted in Yerushalayim, even Scotland, even Gibraltar, even the very fancy, valuable money of Papua New Guinea, all the Guinea is money, right? It can be accepted in Yerushalayim. So you see, money is accepted in Yerushalayim, not like you said that the money is not accepted, and you said before it's not. It's not difficult. When we have the upper hand in Yerushalayim and we have the Yad Takifa, we are the stronger ones, we can decide, we accept all the foreign currencies. Yeah, because it has to be mutual. He'll have to eventually go to his own country. Yeah? Go to the money changer, eventually money goes to country of origin. When we are the strongest ones, we run the show, we pay the piper, we call the tune, and therefore we decided all currencies are accepted in Yerushalayim when we are the strongest ones. That was a good time in history maybe by the times of David and Shelomo. Kan is man shiad umas oilam tekif al atzman. When the goyim are controlling themselves, yeah, the goyim are the ones who control their own thing, and they say, no, what do you mean you accept the Iraqi money in Yerushalayim? You can't. We don't allow you to. Yeah, Mimela, we won't accept. Eventually, when the Soicher would go to Iraq, would send it, they won't accept it. They hate Israel. So when the Umas Olam Tkifim, then in Achanami we're limited, and then we say that the money of the wrong country in Eretz Yisrael would not be accepted because they don't allow us to cooperate and to accept all the monies by us. Yes, but just I'm listening to you. Promise you. Yeah. Yeah. Tighter. No. Aggadah, beautiful Aggadah with a lot of depth. Ezu matbeh shel Yerushalayim. There was a coin, the coin of Yerushalayim. How did it look like? David and Shelomo mitzad echad. David and Shlomo, the Melachim, the very most important kings we ever had, on one side of the coin, the Yerushalayim Mirakodesh mitzad acher, and on the other side of the coin, it said Yerushalayim Mirakodesh. Says Rashi and Tosfos, they didn't have the pictures of David and Shlomo engraved there. They're, they're silhouette like today. No, they had the name David and Shlomo. Why? Because apparently it's a machloekes, and some people hold that just like you can't have a statue, a full, 3D statue of a person, you can't have also like protrusion, yeah? In a coin, you can't have that either. So just the words David and Shlomo on the other side of Yerushalayim. Soon, it sounds like the Gemara is saying something, but there's a lot of depth in here, which I hopefully will get to today. The Ezemat Beshel of Avraham Avinu. What is the coin of Avraham Avinu? Zokon v'zken mitzad echad. On one side, it says old man and old woman. Ubachur besula mitzad acher. And on the other side of the coin is a young boy and a young girl. Some say besula, some say bachura. A young girl. Yeah, young boy, young girl on the other side. There's a lot of depth in here. And actually, I almost wrote an entire shtickle. We have 1 minute and want to use it now. So I'll give you first of all the Musar idea. I saw many before Shemi. Yeah, I saw it in, it's actually one of the Rishonim, I think. No, don't remember. He says like this: what's money? Everyone goes crazy for money. People cheat for money. People lie for money. People give in their values for money. Everything for money, right? So when you're young and pretty and robust, and you have your nice young wife next to you, and you're all into money, money, money. So turn the coin to the other side. Yeah, turn the coin to the other side, and what do you see? Old men and old women. When you can be old and cranky, 90 years old in your wheelchair, hopefully with a nice Filipino, the money, will make a difference, but not the money and all the lust and all the taivus and all the yitzhara. Take a different perspective on life, turn the coin to the other side. Why Avraham Avinu? He was a master of chesed. Then you use the coin for chesed, not just to amass money for yourself. But the pshat, which is more commonly said in other places, is you see the other side of the coin. Avraham Avinu, there was a nace that happened to him. Who are the young boy and the young girl? Some people say Titzchak v'Rivka, says Rashi, but the other ones, Tosfos and many others, most other people say the pshat is Avraham Avinu, his fate, his luck, so to speak, changed. Hashem turned the coin, and from old people, Avraham and Sarah became young people. Well, not young, but she changed physically. They say he didn't, so but Lamai said they were a young couple again with a baby at the age of 99. Yeah. So Mimela, the coin can always turn for the best. People say, I don't have money. Oy, oy, oy. Just Hashem can flip the coin for you, and your mazel can completely change. What about David and Shlomo and Yerushalayim Mirakodesh? The same thing. David and Shlomo, they invested all their money. David invested a lot of money in building Beis HaMikdash. No, I'm not wrong. I know David didn't build Beis HaMikdash, but he planned it, and he was very much in his mind to have Beis HaMikdash. Hashem told him he cannot build Beis HaMikdash. That will be Shlomo's job. And Shlomo built it. So David and Shlomo were the architects of the Beis HaMikdash. So they worked hard, and they had tough life. David had very tough life. Yeah. And by Shlomo, it wasn't so bad, but he actually was the initiator. Eventually, the result, the coin flipped, and you get to the end of the movie. The happy end, Yerushalayim Mirakodesh. Because of their investment, we have Yerushalayim Mirakodesh to a certain extent. Till today, there's some level of kedusha. The Medrash adds 4 more people. There were 4 people mentioned in the Tanakh that the Torah says that were famous. That had monitin. Monitin means fame in Hebrew. Monitin means good name. Yeah. Like prestige. Prestige is in English monitin, and monitin is like money. It says moneta. Moneta is coin in Spanish. So, which are the four people? If you have time, you can listen to me. Otherwise, you can go. One of them was Avraham Avinu, as we just saw. The other one was Yoshua. We'll talk about it later. The third one was David himself, not Yerushalayim. One side of the coin of David, you see a makel and the talmil. You see a staff of the shepherds and the talmil. Talmil is like a backpack of a shepherd. And on the other side, you see Yer HaKodesh Yerushalayim. Again, at the beginning was a little misken shepherd. You flip the coin. You come to the end of the story. Wow. And Mordechai also says was famous. All of them, it says they were famous. Mordechai, it says, yeah, the Rotzel Rovecha was famous. But Mordechai, one side you see sack and tinies, the sack, that it was sitting there like a misken that no one's going to be with the sack. And the other side, it says that it was great. There was a great man over the palace of Achashverosh. He controlled the palace. So many people, you flip the coin, it started bad, but you work hard, the avodas Hashem, and the coin flips to the better side. But Yeshua, it says also Yeshua was famous all over the world because of the sun that stopped for him. And also Yeshua had a coin in his honor also. On one side you see a shor, and on the other side you see a ram. One side is the shor, is a bull. The other one is a ram, is like not a ram, it's like the animal, the big, like a moose maybe. Yeah, like a deer, like a reindeer. So it says why? It says the beginning of our Masechta. It says the shor has strong horns, but they're not beautiful. They're not good looking. And those rams, not rams, no, the ram is not a ram. Like the moose, like those, they're very nice. They have very, very nice horns, but they're not so strong. So Yeshua had both sides. He was very strong and very beautiful. So both sides of the coin. So these are the four ones that had special coins. Right. Yeah. Right. Antlers. Okay, etc. It's a type of horn. In Hebrew, it's the same word. Yeah, I don't think there's a word for antler. Karnaim. I don't think there's a word. Maybe I'm wrong. Thank you very much. Have a good day.